Alright you all, I'm your fave nurse B. Today we are here with Heather. She's a travel nurse and she's going to give us some really good information. So what department do you work in?
Neonatal intensive care unit.
Okay, and how long have you been a nurse?
5 years.
Oh wow, really? So are you have your bachelor's?
Yes.
Okay, are you planning on going further or?
Not right now.
You like it? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any opportunities for just people who have their associates?
I believe
in
so.
the neonatal unit?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
A lot of places are changing it up, so you'd have to look for sure at that facility.
Okay.
But
and are you on an assignment right now?
yes.
Oh, so where are you from originally?
I'm technically from here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I needed to be closer to home for a while, so I just took a travel assignment here. So then I'm not signing on permanently anywhere. I can continue my travels after here.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
It's a good thing about it too. If you want to come home, it's not. You have to be careful with the address thing. Your home address has to be 50 miles or greater in order for it to be considered a travel assignment.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. When you first got out of school, like, what did you go into right out of school?
So I was in the NICU as a new grad. I was there for about 1.5 years before I left to travel nurse. Most people recommend you do whatever your specialty is for 2
Like 2 years, that's what I've heard. But you was able to do it. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And you started off here in St. Louis?
Yes.
Okay, do you feel like you were ready when you first did it?
I think it's always scary to like make the jump at first, but yeah.
So what made you decide to do travel nursing?
It's always something I wanted to do, and then we had travel nurses at
The hospital that you were at.
And so I got more information from them, which made it easier because there's a ton of travel nurse companies. So you have to really just go for one, or they recommended one for me, and that's kind of where I went from there.
Okay, so you like networked a little bit to figure out what you wanted to do. Okay, so what is it like when you first get an assignment? Like, do you just go online and find what you want to get, or?
Yeah, so you'll pick a certain company, you'll get paired with a recruiter, and then you'll tell them where you want to go, and then they give you like the job
list
options in that area, or you can go to their website and look up your specialty in which area or which state you want to go to, and it pulls everything up.
Do you ever have any like times where you feel like it's like kind of bullying or people look down on you because you're a travel nurse, like when you go to a hospital? Do you ever have that experience?
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
Definitely not in all of them. I can only remember one, but they definitely, some people treat you differently.
Because they're like, you're getting paid more than me to do the same job.
Yeah, well that, and it's just like, they don't know if you're good, they don't know if you're bad.
Right, they don't know what to expect.
Yeah, so they just kind of.
So how do you deal with that?
I'm the type of person that just goes in one ear and out the other. I know I can do my job.
Right.
And
you can show them better than you can tell
I ask a million questions too. So you normally get 1 to 2 days of training before you're just kind of thrown out onto the floor, but which does scare a lot of people. However, I mean, it's been fine.
Okay.
For me, just you have to ask questions. I mean, that's my #1 thing that I tell people. Don't be scared to ask questions. No question's a stupid question. You're not going to know where anything is. That's the hard part too. And then the computer charting systems is another thing.
That's what I was going to ask you.
It changes everywhere you go. I mean, a lot of places use Epic now, which the last 2 places I've been have used Epic, which is nice.
Yeah. I think BJC just moved over to
Yeah,
Epic.
they did.
Yeah. So that's smart. I mean, my job, they have Matrix. Have you ever had that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't even, it's like the cheapest thing I think available. Because it's just, I mean, you have to go through like 5 different steps just to give one medication.
Oh, yeah, it's bad.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get the whole point of all that. So have you been able to get the locations that you wanted usually throughout the whole process? That's awesome. So what would you say would be like some of the pros and some of the cons to travel nursing?
So pros, definitely the money. So you get, your hourly pay is very terrible. So, which your hourly pay is taxed, and then you get, they call it like a meals incentive or something, which is a weekly pay for your meals or whatever you want to spend it on, which is non-taxed. And then your
like a
housing, yeah, your housing stipend is not taxed either, and they give you two options. They can find you housing, or they can give you a stipend and you find your own housing, which is what I do, because with that stipend, if you don't use, say they give you $2,000 a month for housing and you find a place for $1,500, you're just keeping the $500 that's left over.
Okay.
Instead, if they find you housing, they pay the housing and you don't see any of that money.
Right.
So, I mean, it is easier at first, especially not knowing the area. You're going to a new place. You don't know which areas are good and bad, but I just try to recommend finding finding your own housing. There's also a lot of Facebook groups for travel nurses that housing one is one of them. And,
oh, really?
Yeah.
They'll help you? Or give you an idea of
people post on there, has anyone lived here? And it's all travel nurses. They help you. So it's a lot of good information for housing.
Good resource.
Yeah. There's a lot of Facebook groups for travel nurses, which is good.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even think of that. That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
So do you drive to each place, or have you ever had your car like shipped somewhere?
So I've never had my car shipped, but and my friends have. It's pretty expensive.
I heard it is.
But like driving from California back here was like, I mean, stopping and going. It should have been like a 30-hour trip, but it was more of like a 40-hour trip. So that was pretty difficult too, but I stopped at some amazing places along the way, so that's a good thing too, is you just make a trip out of it.
Right. You just
know?
enjoy it.
Yeah.
So can you use that on your taxes? Like your mileage? Do you know?
So you used to be able to, but they've changed a bunch of stuff.
Of course.
Like government-wise, that changed a lot of stuff for travel nurses. So
Really?
you do get, from going from one place to another, like a set, depending on how far you go, it only goes up to like, I don't know, depending on your company, but like $300 to $500 to get from one place to the other. But they base it on your mileage, so you put your address you're leaving from, the address you're going to, and then
They calculate it for you how
Yeah.
much they want to give you. As
so
far as
I've
your
always gotten the
taxes.
full amount because I go like past the max amount, but so that's kind of nice too.
Is there anything else that you can use, like on there, like as a write-off?
See, that's the thing, is you used to be able to write off a ton of stuff, like your scrub receipts, because a lot of hospitals, either they have a set uniform that you have to go out and buy, like certain colors, or a lot of places, well, I work in the NICU, so you get to wear like pediatric, like scrubs. Usually you can wear whatever you want, but I guess in other specialties probably not. So I don't know the answer to that. I know a lot of it's changed.
But mostly traveling is like probably the main thing you can do.
Yeah.
Your mileage. So what's some cons?
Getting used to the area. I mean, not only the area, but the hospital.
You're the new kid every time.
You're the new kid,
Yeah.
yes. But I just try to be open-minded and just go at it with, you know what you're doing, especially if you're gonna not switch your specialty, if you're going into the same one. Different policies, different procedures. I was kind of surprised with how different a lot of places were.
Like states,
Yes.
for
Or
example.
even just the same state, different hospitals.
Oh, really?
Yes. So like things that a lot of hospitals are like research based. So, but it depends on which article you read of what they do.
Evidence-based.
Yeah. So with that being said, there's a lot of, you kind of have to get used to the different things that they do and but for the most part, your nursing clinical skills are the same. You're still doing the same assessments. You're still probably passing the same meds. You're doing
And documentation,
yeah,
probably the same.
yeah. I mean, other than the figuring out how to use each
System.
system, but for the most part, yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
And then as far as not really having, it's like 2 days of training is kind of like the deal breaker for most people. They're like, there's no way I could do it. But
so do you ever like feel like you make connections with people, or is that not important?
Oh yeah.
So
from my very first assignment, I still have best friends.
Oh, that's good. That's cool. That's really cool.
The best part of my travels, I always say that, are the people I meet.
Yeah.
So you always have your few people that are not nice, but you'll find that anywhere.
But you can leave. That's the beauty of it. You're like, okay, when it's over, I can deal with you.
Yeah, it's only 3 months.
So that's how long typically each assignment is?
Typically it's 13 weeks. You can always sign on for longer if they need you, which is what I've done before. But you have to be careful because after a year, if you're at the same hospital for over a year, then all of your tax-free money, like your housing and your meals, become taxed.
Oh.
So you definitely want to try not to do that.
Is it within a calendar year, or can I leave, do an assignment, and come back? Or do you?
Yes, you can leave, do an assignment, and come back.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a year consecutively.
Okay, that makes sense. Let me see. So we got some viewer questions. So you just answer how long are their assignments. So what about, do you usually just always have to work the weekends and the holidays? They just kind of just throw you with the stuff people don't want?
So with my NICU, it's usually every other weekend. That's just kind of requirement.
Yeah, that's standard, yeah.
But yes, every weekend, no. I would say no. I doubt any place would make you work every weekend. Unless you opt to do that, then they would probably
only,
let you.
like weekends only?
Yeah. As far as holidays, yes.
Yeah.
They want you to work pretty much every holiday that you're there for. But the good thing is it's in your contract before you sign it. When submitting your application to the company or the hospital, the facility, you get to put your time off requested. So say you want off, I don't know. I always just take off a random week if it's in my contract, just so that I have a week to explore, do whatever I want. But if you want a holiday off, I would recommend putting it in the contract. That way they have to approve it before you even start. And once it's in the contract, it's like set in stone. There's no way they can say no.
Change it. That makes sense. Is Kathy over there?
Here she is.
Oh, okay. We leave my baby Kathy. She's like, oh, she'll be okay.